Hi everyone! Welcome back to the Storytime family. How are we doing today? Are we having a good day? Did you have a fun day at school? Did you get to play outside with your friends? Or did you have an inside day? Well, I hope you're all ready to settle down and read a book with us. Today we have Steve Jobs by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vegara. Well, if you don't know who Steve Jobs is, you're about to. Let's get started, shall we? Steve Jobs. Little Steve was born in San Francisco. He was just a baby when he was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Jobs, a couple who promised to parent him with all their love and best education they could afford. Steve was interested in how things were made and had a great time working with his dad in the garage. But he found school quite boring. Steve soon realized that the only way to do great work is to love what you do. One day, he joined a club for curious kids run by an electronics company. Fascinated by the walkie-talkies and instant cameras, Steve stumbled on a mysterious machine that he had never seen before. It was a computer. It was huge. There was no way a 12-year-old child could fit it in a room. Steve spent the whole summer at the electronics club learning everything about computers, the most awesome tool ever invented. At school, some people thought Steve was a geek. Others thought he was a hippie. But Steve was just himself. He could talk about electronics for hours with his friend Woz. After having long walks with his other friend Chrisanne, he realized how much he liked art, literature, and her. Steve didn't want his parents to spend their life savings on his university degree, so he dropped out. But he continued to sneak into the classes that interested him, like calligraphy, which taught him the art of writing beautifully. He saved all his money and took a long trip to India. Practicing meditation, Steve learned not to worry about yesterday or tomorrow and to focus on today. He knew that one day everything he had learned would connect. Back in California, Steve went to see his friend Woz, who was busy working on a homemade computer. Steve thought it would be great if everyone could have a computer at home. He and Woz decided to start a business together. They gave their company the name of a fruit, apple. Steve's garage became their headquarters. They spent long days and nights programming and imagining what a personal computer might look like. Woz was the genius engineer, but it was Steve's idea to make computers simple and easy to use. Soon, they went from selling 200 computers to becoming a super successful company. Steve knew that great things are never done by one person, but by a team of people. He hired the most talented artists, designers, and engineers and challenged them to think differently to create the most extraordinary devices. Whether it was a computer or a mobile phone, Steve showed the world that design is not just about how things look, but about how they work too. For him, Good design should help make life easier for everyone. And little Steve became one of the most successful entrepreneurs the world has ever seen. A hero in everyday technology. All this just by having the courage to follow his heart and his intuition. And that was Steve Jobs by Little People, Big Dreams. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. I bet you love your iPhones and your iPads. Well, now you know who invented them. If you like to own a copy of this book, the links to purchase it are in the description below. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do give us a like and subscribe if you haven't, and click on the bell for more stories like this. We'll see you back here soon. You take care of yourself and your family. Bye-bye. Today we have Dreams in a Jar by Kate Staves and Karen Bunting. Let's have a look at what Dreams in a Jar is all about. There's a secret I keep that you might think bizarre. I collect up all the dreams I have and keep them in a jar. I dreamt of pirate ships and cannons firing overhead. I took one coin and put it in a jar beneath my bed. I dreamt the world was made of food as much as you could eat. I stuffed my face and saved myself a wrapper from a sweet. I dreamt of the Olympic Games, and guess who won first place? I kept a bottle lid so I won't forget the race. I dreamt of coral castles filled with mermaids in the sea. I found a pretty shell and thought I'll take it home with me. I dreamt that I was in a band and played the bass guitar. I scooped confetti from the floor and put it in my jar. I dreamt I was a pixie